Reality recap.
Hi, Evelyn. Yes, I know you have the reunion. Yes, we have 2 more episodes. And then we have the reunion, of course.
I look like a slut. I look like a mom. She was like, you the one that look like you got a high body count hair. I fell the fuck out, y'all.
Candace, has Deborah reached out to you to apologize after the episode aired showing Chris did not flirt with her?
She wouldn't dare. She would get eaten for breakfast.
Oh boy.
No, she's doubling down.
Why would you go meet with Ray J without talking to Princess or letting her know? Why? Like, she's trying to justify that she told her after the fact and not supposed to make it.
What do you think of your ex-husband Jim coming out and saying you did not try to stop him from suing Shannon and Tamara?
That's a good question. Well, I mean, if his memory is a little foggy about what transpired back then, that's okay. However, he did admit that I had nothing to do with the
Reality recap. Reality recap.
What's up, y'all? Happy Monday. It is your girl V with Reality Recap here for another live Tea Talk session. Today we are streaming live across Instagram, Facebook, and YouTube. Please make sure to drop your comments as we go over, that's right, last night's reunion part 1, season 16 of Real Housewives of Atlanta. Some news just dropped. We're going to get right into it. Before we do, make sure you like, share, and subscribe to my YouTube channel. It's coming across the screen at Reality Recap 2876 is how you find me on YouTube, or the link is in my bio on Instagram, Facebook, and TikTok for you to subscribe so you don't miss any of my recaps, recorded or live. They're all housed on my channel. So make sure you like, share, subscribe, and support. Follow me on Instagram, Facebook, and TikTok. What you see here, reality_recap, for all the juicy reality news. Starting with, we just got Britt Eady's no-show reunion look. I'm going to put it up on the screen for you guys, but she just released her reunion look from her living room, although she decided not to go to the reunion. She released the look with a very bold caption of "No Brit, no reunion." She then released pictures of the reunion look. Let me put it up here for you. I have 2 pictures to show you. So this is the picture she released with her official exit announcement from Real Housewives of Atlanta a few moments ago, as well as she put up a little video with this picture of her reunion look, which said, again, the caption was, "No Brit, no reunion." I mean, it's a gorgeous reunion look. I said it before, I say it again. Britt had all the makings of a top housewife. It's sad to see that she got into this imaginary beef with Kenya, that went down the road that it did, with whatever she said about her being a little pistol patty, and the retaliation that Kenya did, which allegedly wasn't even Britt Eady on the pictures that were at the grand opening at the end of the day. So did we really have to go through all of this? The alleged lawsuit that Britt Eady filed against Bravo and its little parent companies, that at this point is still in limbo. NBC Bravo has not been served with a lawsuit. She simply filed it, and it's pending the additional information to solidify the lawsuit. The fees that need to be paid for the lawsuit to be filed were not paid. So it's a shame, because at the end of the day, she could shade with the best of them. You give it to her. She came back. You know, she stood 10 toes down when she argued with Kelly, Shamia, and anyone else. She had her receipts and her tea. She had scandal. She had style. She had flair. And she really could be a top housewife, but she chose the path that she did. So she officially announced her exit, and I will read to you what her exit caption said. It says, "As I close this chapter, I want to thank everyone who supported me, my friends, my followers, my amazing team, and everyone who defended my name. I decided to walk away from something that no longer serves me because I chose peace over destroying my mental. It's very easy to say what I should have done when most have not walked a day in my shoes. I choose me. And a lot of people can't say they choose themselves. I still have a lot of healing left to do, but you can't heal in the same place that made you sick. I don't owe anyone closure. I only owe myself to do what's best for me. My journey here is done. Brit, with a little mwah kissing emoji. So yeah, she is officially gone from Real Housewives of Atlanta. I mean, really, would Bravo have her back at this point? I doubt it. But she announced her official exit along with her reunion look, and it's giving best dressed. The body's bodying. The dress looks dope. 100% sure that Kelly's Glam Squad Paris was her stylist here. He has it posted on his page as well. So there you have it. Britt Edie exits with a reunion look from the living room, child. Tell me what you think about it. What it's on my page. Some of you said that she's thirsty. She's giving pick me. I mean, she was a topic of a conversation last night. The reunion did roll on. I'm not sure if it's a no Brit, no reunion, but she was a huge part of the season. She wreaked a lot of havoc. And I was hoping that she would continue to just shade down at the reunion. That's what I was looking forward to. Her coming with receipts, telling people business. I was looking forward to it, It's just unfortunate the road that things travel between her, Kenya, and even her and Kelly and the rest of the cast. So good luck to you, Britt Edie. I didn't see her shapewear line yet. That was supposed to launch in July. What is it? Bare bones, bare naked. All of those things. It has not launched yet. I'm still looking out for it. Let me see. Did she take it out of her bio? Is she no longer doing that? Bare and naked? Let me go to the page. I mean, it's still there. Supposed to launch in July, so we'll keep you posted on if that happens. No post since June 29th, which she did a before and after of her in a dress with it and without the shapewear on. So, but yes, she has removed RHOA from her bio. She is just your insurance expert. I ain't even gonna get into how I already went down that path where people said her insurance expert ebook is a scam. That's alleged, but that's what Giorgio said over on his page. But it was given best dress, y'all. Now let's put the rest of the reunion looks up on the screen so you can see what the rest of the ladies were working with as we get into a recap of the reunion. Oh, comments coming in already. Y'all got thoughts. Let's get into it. Toria, thank you for checking in. You agree that she had the makings of a top housewife. Is it Ali? Thank you for checking in on YouTube. Says she promises that she is walking away because past housewives have claimed the same thing. I mean, it has to be a promise. With a lawsuit pending, I don't think Bravo would even have her back. So it's not even giving promise; it's giving definite at this point. Toria said, "I think she ate, but the hair is a no." A few people said that. Toria also said, "I would have loved to see it with some nice." Some nice body waves, I believe is what you're saying, like a Hollywood style, like old Hollywood glam waves on, side part under, right? Give a little side part under with some body waves. I think that would have been dope. I agree with you. A lot of people said she had the bob that Nene was talking about. Said she had that bob going on. So I agree with you. Definitely a few people in the comments said the same thing. What you mean I'm something else, Toria? What I do now? But tell you the truth, because that's all I'm doing up here is telling y'all the truth. But let's get into the reunion. I'm gonna be honest with you as I pull up my notes. I'm struggling to understand why this needs to be a 3-part reunion. We got into so much in this first part of the reunion. I was really feeling like, okay, I'm done. I get that Ralph is gonna come out, Dennis is gonna come out, and Charles. I get that part. I could even see it being a 2-part reunion. But I mean, last night we got into Portia and Simon, the Phaedra and Angela beef, the Kelly and the Glam Squad beef with Brittany. We touched on so much. I mean, Andy came out swinging with the hard questions and shots was fired. You hear me? But I was just wondering, like, we covered so much so quickly. Where do we go from here that we really need 3 parts? I know that again, I know there's some arguing gonna come up between Portia and Shamia in the next episode, but 3 parts? I'm not seeing what that third part is really gonna be about, but I was feeling like, okay, I'm done after last night. I'm good. Really don't need much more, but we'll talk about it. We started off the reunion with the ladies, of course, searching for Britt. Phaedra looking in her room and seeing her room completely empty. Hi, brown skin mommy. Thank you for checking in. I appreciate you on Instagram. How are you, love? But yeah, that's how we started off. I'll let you guys know for you coming in. Britt has officially announced her exit. I read that caption for you. If you missed it, this live will be on my YouTube channel when we finish. But Britt Eady has officially exited Real Housewives of Atlanta. She put up her no-show reunion look from the living room, and it was given best dress. I'm just gonna be honest. She was definitely running with Portia in that. But yes, the ladies are searching for Britt at the beginning of the reunion. They weren't able to find her. They wasn't sure what was going on. Cynthia, Portia, Phaedra were trying to figure it out. And they come to the stage and find out officially that Britt is not attending the reunion. And they were asked, had anybody spoke with her? Portia said that she had spoke with her the night before, but it was brief, and they were just talking about, our baby daddies and husbands are all going to be there together. She said that Brittany's husband was planning to attend as well. Phaedra did an interview a few weeks back, I think with E Entertainment News, and she was saying how she was shocked that Brittany didn't attend the reunion, that they had actually went and got their nails done together and in preparation for the reunion, and she had no idea that she was going to show. And they thought she was just late. Drew said she also had spoke to Brittany, but not on a good note. Brittany reached out to her because of a blog and was pretty much threatening to, allegedly threatening to sue Drew for what was said. Now, she didn't get into what blog, but if I had to guess, again, just my thoughts, if I had to guess what she was going to sue about, there were a lot of talks from Drew's friend, stylist, somebody on her glam squad or something like that, where he got on a podcast with a blogger and was saying that not only was that Britt Eady in the photos that Kenya put up, but that he also was aware via Drew of who that was in the picture. This guy alleged that it was Young Berg. Y'all remember Young Berg from Love and Hip Hop Hollywood, the one that was dating what's the one always fighting with Masika? Why is her name slipping me? Y'all know with the big nose, but he was dating her on the show. Young Berg, he said allegedly that it was Britt Eady and that it was Young Berg's peen that was in the picture. That's what he was alleged. So if I had to guess, I would think that's probably what she was going to sue Drew about. Hazel E. Thank you very much, Nikki. I don't know why it was slipping me because they literally just was on Ray J's channel fighting again, her and Masika, and I was looking at that. So thank you, Hazel E. And that's what I would assume. I did find it quite interesting because when Drew did an interview with Carlos King, she did mention, she kind of went down her roster of how like she could do better than Ralph. And she went through people she dated. She talked about she dated Michael Jordan, the actor, not the basketball player, because y'all remember that's her cousin, right? But she had dated Michael B. Jordan, as well as she said, she dated Young Berg. So I could truly believe that Drew told this guy that because you clearly seen his peen before. Again, that's allegedly. That's what I think. But those are just my thoughts as to what she was going to possibly sue Drew over. So Drew had heard from her in that aspect, but as of the reunion, Drew had not received any official lawsuit paper. She had not been served with anything. So, child, before they got into the reunion, Shamia took it upon herself to pray. Praying before a reunion like this is diabolical, but that's what she decided to do. And Andy asked his question that there seems to be a trend that he asks at all the reunions if anyone wants to set any intentions for the reunion. And Portia really took that question and ran with it and said that, she's back to herself, that she truly came to the reunion today with, meeting everybody with the truth, addressing every issue she had with anyone, and really trying to understand where do they go from here, if whether they're ready to or able to move forward, or if they just gonna close the door. And in the famous words of Nene Leakes, the door is closed. So she was the one that kind of took on that question. We then had Cynthia come out, coined the best friend of Real Housewives of Atlanta, the best friend that they've ever had. Cynthia Cheekbones Bailey came out, and they talked to her a little bit about her dating situation. The guy that she's dating, he's 39. She's doing well. She didn't really have no beef with nobody. So she's really just supporting Cass. She truly is giving friend of energy, but in a good way. I call her the fairy peach mother. She really did come in and was able to be what I consider the actual glue of Atlanta, not Shamia. It gave Cynthia was really the one that was the glue of the season. They got right into Portia and Simon, which I was a bit surprised about that was one of the first things that we jumped into, but they did a flashback of the beginning of the season when Portia was going to the divorce lawyer, and Andy asked some good questions. I think Andy got to it. He was asking, so, what's going on with your divorce now? Portia opted not to speak about Simon at all due to legal reasons, but he did ask her, is Simon currently detained by ICE? We know as of now, or you should know if you're following me on Instagram, Facebook, and TikTok, a reality_recap is how you find it. But if you should know by now that he is no longer detained. He was deported. However, he's not in Nigeria. He's actually living his best life out in Dubai. He's eating good, living good. He's out in Dubai. But at the time, she said, yes, even though she didn't want to talk about him legally for legal reasons, she was able to confirm that, yes, he is, or at the time of the reunion taping, he was detained by ICE. And Andy went right to, he said, well, the people on Twitter want to know, and they're asking, were you the one that called and reported Simon to ICE? I said, okay, Daddy Andy, that's how we doing? Cool. Let's get into it. And by the way, side note, I'm so happy that Andy is hosting the Love Island reunion. I am elated about that. I really think that Andy's gonna get to it. Okay. But that was just a side note. Andy will be hosting the Love Island reunion. But yes, he asked her, like, did you call ISIS? She said no, that she was not the one to call, that it serves her really no purpose to call. It makes things harder. As we know, her divorce was at a standstill for some time because of the ICE detainment. She wasn't able to move forward. He couldn't show up to no divorce hearings because he was detained. They did eventually get a virtual hearing, were able to close out the divorce. The prenup was enforced. Portia is able to stay in the home. She's supposed to receive alimony as well. A lot of you were saying, how is he gonna pay that if he was deported and no longer here? Maybe he still got money in the bank. Y'all also was saying, and if he don't pay it, what is the court gonna do about it with him out of the country? I mean, not really sure. I'm no immigration lawyer, but I would assume that would also hinder him from ever being able to, I'm not going to say ever, but it probably would hinder him from coming back or gaining citizenship, which he was being denied over and over again anyway. So he's living his best life out in Dubai. Shamia chimed in when they were talking about the whole Simon situation, saying that she was alluding to the fact that they had went on couples trips and things like that, but that they did try to pretty much, her and her husband, meaning Shamia and her husband, tried to warn Portia about, just the rumors out there of Simon being a scammer, making sure she got to the bottom of it, that she dispelled of any of those rumors before she moves forward with marrying Simon. Now, what was a little confusing is that Portia said it took 9 months for them to get a prenup together and signed, and that she did pay for due diligence to be done when it came to the prenup. So why didn't you know any of this stuff? Did she really just ignore the signs? I told you guys I was confused at the beginning of the season. Like, how do you go to the airport with this man? Y'all wasn't always on private jets. But even then, y'all go through, and he couldn't get in the clear line with you. He couldn't go through TSA pre-check with you. There was always a holdup, and you mentioned that. I just don't understand. So you did your due diligence for 9 months with the prenup, and you didn't know all of what was happening. Andy did ask her what was the reason she filed for divorce, and she wouldn't give the specifics, but she said that she felt like she was in danger, not physically, but that there were a lot of untruths in the marriage from a financial standpoint where she felt endangered. And that she had to make the hard decision to file for a divorce. She was also asked if she was still in love with Simon, and she said yes. Nikki says she was in her Nigerian bliss and didn't care. That's what Dennis said. She was over there in, Nigeria. She was eating her fufu, chilling. She ain't really care. Living a life, Rolls Royces, mansions, private jets, vacation homes in Costa Rica. She was living the life, and that's what she was coming back onto the show to show us, was her grand lifestyle, and that went left. Hence why the beef with Drew, in my opinion, was the center stage for Portia's storyline. But yeah, Shamia chimed in my opinion, kind of insinuating like, well, we kind of did tell you to do your due diligence, but I supported you through it. Kelly and Portia went back and forth last night. Like, they were the two that was really throwing shots at each other, and it was like, dang, what happened to the fun, giddy friendship y'all had during the season? That is out the window. But they were really throwing shots over different things. Like, Kelly was saying, don't compare your marriage to mine, because Portia talked about how they bonded because they were going through the same thing. And Kelly was like, wait. I was married 11 years. You were married 11 months. Not even really, but she was saying that. But Portia really wasn't trying to compare their marriages. She was just saying, we're both going through similar things, right? We're both women going through a divorce. Your husband, as well as my husband, are putting our documents online, suing us left and right. So it wasn't so much of a comparison of marriages. It was more so, we're going through the same thing. So I don't know really what Kelly was going with that. Talking about that's comparing apples to peaches. That's a new one for me. I thought it was apples to oranges. But anywho, that's what she had to say. Let's see what some of your comments say before we go forward. Tori said, no, we the fans did, and there was other factors that played a part. I'm not sure what you mean there. I must have missed it. So these hating ass women mad because Simon created a prenup and signed it. They act like they dating Simon. Yes, I don't know. Yeah, I don't know, but she said she did her due diligence, but it's not really making sense why she didn't catch any of this. He said, yes, I need you to pull up what Kelly's husband is saying. We allow Kelly to say so many things without getting the husband side. We let her live too long. Honestly, I wasn't interested in Kelly. I think I've made that pretty clear through all of my recaps of this season. I was not. What Kelly brought to the table to me was yelling out shit when there were already arguments happening, like how she backed Brittany up at the Bailey barbecue, where she was saying, yeah, what about that side baby your husband got? Or even at the bare and naked event where she was yelling at Drew. When y'all do talk, make sure you tell the truth. You know you like to lie, Drew. She was there more from that standpoint of just yelling out, instigating shit. But I really did not care about her divorce because all of that had already played out. We had already read that she was going through the divorce, that it was taking forever, that he had been locked up and held in contempt of court, also locked up for child support. It wasn't new news to me. And I always know it's two sides to the story, but I really wasn't interested in what was going on with her husband. I really was not. And Ralph made it clear on his podcast that, right, her husband, her estranged husband or ex-husband at this point, they are officially divorced, was reaching out to him. He also tried to interject in the show and send legal documents to Kelly because he did not like how he was being portrayed on the show and wanted her to basically he sent a cease and desist because he did not want Kelly talking about him on the show. So I would love to get his side. Don't make me reach out to him for an interview. I will try it. I'll try it because there's always two sides to each story. But what got me, and I think towards the end of the episode where Andy got a little shady and asked Kelly the question, I don't know if all of you guys had it, but I had that question of, okay, you bought your daughter 17 designer bags. You have Glam Squad everywhere you go. You have a stylist, makeup, hair, wigs. You're wearing couture pieces. So why all of these lawsuits? Yes, I get you're going through a divorce, and Andy said it like, instead of maybe all this glam squad and stuff, you should focus on the waffles, because she first had a lawsuit with her landlords because of unpaid rent. And Andy was saying, like, listen, I'm looking for this second location of the chicken and waffles to open. But she had a lawsuit with them. She also now another lawsuit for a credit card bill with the Navy Federal Credit Union. Who's in the Navy? I don't know how you get into the Navy Federal Credit Union, but I would think you have to be in the Navy. I don't ask me. If one of y'all know, let me know in the comments. But she now has like these lawsuits festering all over the place. And he asked, well, why didn't you pay it? And she said, oh, because I had a $200,000 lawyer fee bill. That's a mere bag of shells compared to the money you're spending on your Watch What Happens Live outfits, your wardrobe every episode. So it's not adding up to me. Maybe she didn't want to pay the credit card because some of it was her husband's bill, or because she was going through the business fight with the husband that she didn't pay the landlord, but she still hasn't paid it in full. She said not as of the reunion. She said, well, they got some of it, not all of it though. So it's just, I side eye Kelly as well, but I'm not interested in her storyline as a whole. Really, none of them. None of the new girls had a storyline outside of their arguing and messiness with the girls that I was interested in. I wasn't interested in Britt and her sister beefing over sharing her with her husband. I wasn't really interested in Angela and her beef with her sisters and mom not talking to Charles. It was more so only about what was going on in the circle for me. For the new girls, that was interesting. Even with Shami, I mean, her husband doesn't film with her at all. I feel like her daughter's health issues is something private. She shared it to be encouraging, but it wasn't to me a staple in her storyline. It was really just their beefs with each other this season that I was interested in. But yeah, I definitely. You always got me reaching out to somebody, Toria, trying to get an interview. You know they don't be wanting to come up in here. They be scared. But I definitely reach out to him and see, because he might not be, if he the monster that Kelly paints him out to be. Okay, well, yeah, he didn't say reach out semantics, tomato. Ralph didn't say that. He reached out to him. He ran into him. Tomato, they talked.
But yeah, that's what he said on his podcast. But where were we? Yeah, Kelly and Portia with their shots over comparing the marriage. They also Andy asked Portia, being that you already got into, thank you, Toria. Even he talked to Portia about, listen, okay, you have already gotten this reputation of a husband stiller. Why would you say on national TV that you were gonna F Angela's husband, right? And she immediately took accountability. I don't I don't necessarily believe it. A lot of the apologies Portia gave out last night, I wasn't believing. It was kind of like, I just want to move past the foolishness that I said, the pettiness that I was given while I was in my hurt sunken place, and come back a different person. But she apologized for saying that. She said she didn't mean that. It was something shady for her to say while talking with her girlfriends. The Henny was in her system, but she apologized about that comment. Oh! Sorry, y'all. It's thundering and lightning like crazy. Y'all have no idea how hard it is lightning and thundering here in Jersey. Like, that scared the shit out of me. If it goes dark in here, you know why. Did y'all hear that? Unbelievable. But anyway, my husband was doing some video filming. He walked away because he laughing at me. He laughing at me. But it also came up as to, did Shamia introduce Portia to Simon? I felt like they were lying. Was it just me? Nikki says, scared me too. You in Jersey? Because this shit is insane for the last hour or so. But yeah, it came up as, did Shamia introduce Portia to Simon? I felt like they lied in that moment. When Portia was asked, she gave a long pause and then said no. And I didn't understand the pause. Shamia was very adamant and jumped on, I didn't introduce them. I didn't introduce them. And Portia made a weird statement like, whatever happened, I was already introduced to him. That already happened. I'm going to take my heat and we're going to move on. I got him and I gave him back, and that's the end of it. Nigga said, I'm in VA and we having it too. Oh, wow. It's happening all over like that. Yeah, if I be sitting in the dark and a disconnect, y'all know I lost power and Wi-Fi. So I don't know. What did you guys think? But I didn't feel like Portia was being truthful in that moment. When they did roll the clip back, Shamia did not say she introduced them. She said she was there from the beginning. She saw the relationship happened and develop because she was, they were best friends. They traveled together. They double dated, etc. She didn't specifically say she introduced them to Simon, but there was some kind of inkling there that she may have been a part of how they connected, but she wasn't copping to that. So I just found that a little interesting, and I felt like there was some lying going on. We then got into Dennis and Drew filming together. Kelly again with her side comments in that, where they were like, asking Portia about that. And she said, Dennis is a jewel. She was very protective of him filming with Drew or other people because she needed her co-parenting relationship to stay intact while she was going through this divorce with Simon. She didn't need that unraveling. And she said, again, Dennis is a jewel. They have a great time laughing and cackling together. Andy mentioned like they seem like they have a good dynamic on her YouTube channel. She's had Dennis on a few times. And sidebar, Kelly was over there saying, yeah, all in that man house, talking about how they film. Portia's YouTube channel is typically filmed in the house that she acquired with Simon, which is now hers. And Portia heard the comment, said to her like, oh, you mean my house? That's my house. And she said, yeah, y'all, your house with Simon. She said, no, that's my house. Where's your house at? You had to leave yours, right? And Kelly said, yeah, I didn't want no parts of it. She said, oh, well, you look well. They were really like, pow, 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 pow. It was given, get at them. I enjoyed it. I really did. Yeah, period. That's my house. What's his is mine. What's mine is mine. But right, period. She said that's my house. But I enjoyed their back and forth banter. I didn't really see that coming, but I enjoyed it. I really did. It was one of the highlights for me was their back and forth banter. I really did. So I enjoyed that. What else happened? Shamia and Portia kind of got into it a little bit of arguing. We'll see more of that in the next episode. But it came back to the whole Shamia feeling like she caught strays in her conversation with Britt. Also because of her conversation with Angela after her birthday party, where Angela was like, well, why was you asking Drew about Dennis and her's relationship? That's more of a conversation Portia would want to have. And Portia was pretty much saying that she didn't ask Shamia to ask that question. She had really told Shamia to stay out of it or don't mention anything about Dennis humping on Drew on the show. And Shamia was saying, no, you never said that. And Portia said, oh, now you're trying to make like I'm lying. She said, yeah, well, you are. So we start to see their tension build. We know they're not really in the best of terms. You could tell by the way they did not look at each other or speak to each other when they came out at the beginning. But we're starting to see that tension, and we'll see more of that. I'm gonna just call you Ash, okay? I hope that's okay. On Instagram said, how do you feel about the comments about the divorce is not the same? No divorce is the same, but we are both going through a divorce. Yeah, I spoke on that. I'm not sure when you came in, but I did speak on that where I felt like I didn't really get what Kelly was trying to get at. Like 11 months, 11 years, she was saying you can't compare it. Portia wasn't comparing the marriage. She didn't say they got divorced for the same reason, or it was more so we're both going through divorce. That is similar. We both have husbands that are vocal online about how they're being portrayed. They're suing us. They're serving us. They're leaking our divorce, sealed information online. So it was more of a bonding from that moment. I don't know what Kelly was trying to get at there. Sometimes Kelly can be a bit of a chihuahua, but she wasn't trying to compare their divorces. What else? Dennis, the Dennis conversation went into Drew pretty much saying like, yo, you were aware. And I believe this. I really do believe that Portia was not oblivious to Drew recording with Dennis. We've already, I felt like Drew was genuine in the conversation, episode 1 or 2 at Shamia's birthday, saying, listen, I tried to reach out to you because she had just texted her. Yeah, she could have, but she feels like she tried to reach out to her and be clear with her that there's nothing romantic going on. She could have worked with big name producers in the industry in Atlanta, but she went that route before and it didn't go well. Dennis took her seriously, had a great business plan, and she went with it. And look where she is now. Great music. It's going well for her. I never felt like there was anything romantic or that Drew was trying to be romantically involved with Dennis. She said she likes biceps, not bellies. That's what she said on her interview with Carlos King. I ain't say if she did, but that's what she said. She liked biceps, not bellies, honey. But they kind of talked it out last night, but that was another apology from Portia that I didn't believe was genuine. It was kind of like, okay, let me apologize so we can move past this and move on. But that to me wouldn't have been a part of Portia's storyline, or she wouldn't have cared about any filming if she wasn't going through a divorce with Simon and had to pivot her storyline. I truly feel that way. That's just how I felt. And she apologized to Drew, but I first thought she was about to walk off or either knock Drew off the couch. I didn't know what she got up for, but she apologized, saying that, she really didn't even apologize about being mad about Dennis. She apologized for sitting down with Ralph. So I guess she's not too sorry about that storyline and being mad. And you can understand where your baby daddy is, filming or making music with one of your friends. You would want them to have a conversation with you and get your approval. I know I would, because it'd be so I get it, but I don't think there was any romantic involvement there. Yeah, Drew says something about she told her at a birthday party. Portia says that she didn't. I again agree. I think she could have handled that piece of it better and be clear and communicate and not just say, well, I tried to call you and you ain't answer. Send a text, send a voice note, something, send an email. I don't know. But you could have definitely discussed that and, gained her comfortability with it before you move forward. Drew, you said Drew may need to go back to go naked hair because her wig was very tight. And Portia touched on that too. Like, listen, I said your music is good. I don't talk bad about your businesses. So why would you get on the Breakfast Club and talk poorly about my hair company trying to damage my business? And I agree. Drew's hair looked the best when she was wearing go naked hair. I tell you, hell, Drew hair was looking so good, and Portia's hair always looks good. I was thinking about getting me some bundles for Go Naked Hair. I'm a Kendra's Boutique girl myself. I love Kendra's Boutique, but I was definitely like, Portia hair always look good, but Portia hair is always wigs, and I can't do wigs. That's like wearing a Scully in the summertime. I like bundles, so I hope her bundles is the same as the wig hair. But I definitely was over there taking a peek at Go Naked Hair, honey, because Portia hair with them wine curls always do it for me. It looks good every single time with the little side swipe over. But yeah. So yeah, she really didn't apologize about her issues over the season. It was more so for sitting down with Ralph. And she admitted that she was being petty, which we always knew that. They talked to Kelly about her Glam Squad beef with Brittany. And Portia talked about how there was an alliance formed before the season started between the new girls. Not all the new girls, though. It was between Shamia, Britt, Kelly. They left Angela out of it. Now, Shamia and Kelly say that Portia was a part of the alliance. Portia's over there like, who said that? She wasn't a part of it. So not sure if she was in it or not. I truly believe if she wasn't at least in it, she knew about it and supported it because Shamia was in it and wanted to make sure Shamia came on the show and wasn't, I guess, maybe jumped by the other girls. So I truly believe Portia knew something was going on there, to be honest. Whether she was all the way in on the alliance or not, I definitely think she knew about it. And Portia's saying that this alliance had discussions to take her down, that Britt told her that Britt felt like she was kicked out of the alliance after they had the charity conversation in Grenada, where Kelly kind of turned on Brittany and didn't have her back in the amount of money that she donated for the to give back to the hurricane victims. So yeah, she's saying that she wasn't a part of it and there was a plan to attack her. The others admit that there was some type of alliance, but that Portia was in it. So I don't know who to believe there. This glam beef was kind of a mute point, being that Brittany wasn't there, but Kelly is, holding true to she was a loyal friend to Brittany. That's why she had her back in the whole Angela side baby conversation, that she offered her glam squad just as far as her stylist, not the entire glam squad, and that it wasn't supposed to be a continuous thing. It's just something she offered to allow for Brittany to look like she had money. That's what she insinuated. And Drew jumped in saying, like, so what are you trying to say? She really didn't have money? You don't know where she got her money from? Because Drew's alluded to that on interviews she's done as well, that Brittany has a checkered past. She alluded to the fact that Brittany's husband has a checkered past. So she was like, that's your friend. You don't know how she get her money? And here goes Shady Andy again from insurance. My follower over here, Toria, said that Brittany's husband sell jets, but she only saw him selling one jet. So I don't know. But the street says he has a checkered past. That's what the streets say, allegedly. So I don't know. But she did not want to give up her glam squad indefinitely. She was helping out as a friend. So Brittany's still using them. She used them for her no-show reunion look she posted today and looked damn good. That's what it is. Kelly mad because they did have Britt looking better in Nashville. They have her looking better on all the episodes. She mad. You know, she's mad. Not saying she's jealous of what Brittany has, and she made that clear, but is she mad at how good her glam squad is making somebody else look on her dime? Well, she says she was paying the stylist, but Brittany paid when she used them, so no harm, no foul. She says that she was a supportive friend to Brittany. She came over there and spent $1,000 on IV drips after the whole Kenya event. She had an IV drip. Brittany had, and her husband had IV drip. And I'm just saying, damn. So why can't you pay these lawsuits, Kelly? That's all I'm thinking is you shoveling out $1,000 for IV drips, 17 bags over here. Why you can't pay the lawsuits to the landlord and the Navy Federal Credit Union? I don't know. I really don't. Yeah, I mean, if you want to believe Toria that Brittany is the Vicky of a Housewives of Atlanta and that she sells just as much assurance as Vicky does on OC, cool. Cool with me. Cool. You calling her the Vicky of Atlanta? Cool. I'm cool with that. But the Glam Squad beef, I'm not really interested in. They also asked Kelly about the comment that was made at Phaedra's event with Brittany, and Kelly went back and forth, and it was said by Brittany that Kelly had abortions while she was married. I feel like I wrote in my notes she skated around the question, but she pretty much gave the same answer that she gave on the show that really didn't quite answer it for me, but who am I? She unless she pull out any paperwork or anything like that, we can't really prove that to be true or false. But she basically was saying that she had her tubes tied after her twins, so it's impossible for her to get pregnant. So I'm in my head like, Andy, let's dig a little deeper, but he didn't. I mean, it's a sensitive topic. Of course, she said it's her body, her choice. Totally agree with that. But she was saying that I was taking it. So did you do it before the twins? Were you pregnant by the husband? But the marriage was so tumultuous that you aborted your children. Did you cheat and with somebody else and had to have what is it? Or is it really nothing? Because that could be it as well. But I felt like she skated through that question pretty much answering the same way that she answered when it came up on the show. So overall, I think it was a good reunion. We ended off the reunion with Angela and this Marcus situation. Now, I did see Alex, who was the friend he joined the live here on Instagram a few minutes ago. Alex, are you still there? Let me know. But Alex was the friend you saw in the background on the episode where Marcus showed up at the waffle competition event between Kelly and Charles. He was there with Marcus. He was in my DMs with some videos of allegedly conversations between Marcus and Angela, but the audio was not clear of me to really make out of it. But he was saying that the audio was of Angela and Marcus kind of figuring out how they were going to protect Marcus and who they were going to blame it on, that this information was brought to the forefront of Charles allegedly cheating or coming in allegedly to Marcus's restaurant with another woman. So, right, Marcus is the man that came on and said that Charles was cheating on Angela, and they got into that last night where Phaedra was saying like she don't know Marcus, she's never met him, and that's what Alex was saying, that Phaedra wasn't the one. That's what he said in my DMs, that Alex wasn't the one. I mean, sorry, Phaedra was not the one that made Marcus come to that event, did not pay him, but that Angela and Marcus discussed how we gonna protect you while bringing, while, or who we gonna blame this on, basically, because you've already come and put this information out. She's, protecting Charles, allegedly, and who are we going to blame this on? Now that's what Alex said, but Alex audio was muffled. I couldn't hear a damn thing. So that's just what he alleged. So Alex, if you're still there, if you want to add anything, you let me know. But they asked, or Andy asked, how are you so sure that it was Phaedra? She pulled out her yellow folder matching her outfit, honey. The folder was in theme with the rest of the cast, but from what it looked like, she pulled out was just 3 Facebook profile pictures. But she was saying that Marcus' sister went to high school with Phaedra's brother. And because of Athens, Georgia only having 3 elementary schools and 2 high schools, that it was quite a coincidence that Marcus came forward with this information. Totally agree, Toria. The folder was a flop, in my opinion. You just pulled it out. And Phaedra was saying, I have 4 siblings. It's quite possible for people to go to high school with them. And that doesn't mean Phaedra knows everybody that each one of her siblings went to high school with. That made absolutely no sense. And Angela also said that Marcus didn't come forward. He wasn't forthright saying that he got this information from Phaedra. He tried to blame it on others before it being Phaedra who he ultimately blamed it on. So Andy asked, so why is it that you believe that it was Phaedra and nobody else? And she said that she feels like Phaedra did it because of that connection, the high school connection, and that Phaedra is trying to secure her spot. No, boo-boo. Phaedra was asked to come back, contract signed, sealed, and delivered, and she's already signed up for next season before this season even. She came on already being signed up for the next season. So secure what? Phaedra does not need to secure a spot. She's good. Angela ain't even in jeopardy. She came on and was a breakout star. She had a great interview. Andy's so happy to have her on the show. He talked about that on Watch What Happens Live. Carlos said they've been trying to get Angela on the show since about season 2 when he was producing it. So it just doesn't give motive for me that it had to be Phaedra. And it seemed like, quite honestly, it was the person that they pointed the finger at, saying that we could tie this to her because of this high school nonsense and because she's gone through this already with the whole candy coated dungeon basement thing. So I don't believe it. I'm not sure any of Marcus's story was true. It was giving, I want my 15 minutes. Marcus started a podcast off of this with his receipts, and Alex was on it too, on the podcast. So again, I don't know if Alex is still listening. If you have anything to add, be my guest. But that's my thoughts on it. So we'll get more into that probably in the part 2. Again, in part 2, it seems like we're going to get into more of Shamia and Portia's issues. Somewhere along the line, we have Dennis, Ralph, and Charles coming out, and Charles shading everybody, saying, where y'all husbands at? I'm the only husband here, child. So again, not really clear why we needed 3 parts for this reunion. But the first part covered a lot of ground. So I really felt like 2 parts, again, could have been enough. But those are my thoughts on Real Housewives of Atlanta season 16 reunion part 1. Brittany announced her exit. You guys can see her caption and her post on my Instagram and Facebook page. We have a lot going on this week. I will be back tomorrow to recap Basketball Wives. I'll be recapping Love and Hip Hop Atlanta. Sneak peek of that coming for you tomorrow. Look out for that. And also, guys, I have a really special interview coming. Let me see if I can put it up on the screen for you guys. But we have a guest coming this Wednesday. I'm going to post it on my social medias tomorrow, but we have the Bravo Babe coming by. If you guys are into OC, Real Housewives of Orange County, y'all know the season premiere last week where Katie talked about an infamous blogger who she did not reach out to, that the blogger reached out to her looking to get a story for clickbait and money. Well, here's the blogger herself, the Bravo Babe, who is a good friend of mine. We've been doing this thing called life and podcasting and bloggering with each other for some time. You guys may know we hosted a giveaway when I first was getting started. We did a giveaway together, but the Bravo Babe will be here with her receipts and to clear her name. So if you haven't watched Real Housewives of Orange County season premiere, make sure you watch it. Yes, Katie talked about on the Orange, someone asked, who are we talking about? Yes, we're talking about Katie. Katie talked about on the Orange County premiere this past week how Tamra accused her of reaching out to a blogger who was saying online that Tamra was in charge of some Finsta accounts. And Katie allegedly reached out to the blogger, but Katie is denying reaching out to the blogger. And the blogger they were talking about was her, the Bravo Babe. So we will have her on with her receipts to clear up the mess, give her side of the story. And she says she's getting a lot of hate on Twitter. But if y'all believe what Katie is saying, you got to be crazy, because that woman a lie and the truth ain't in her, okay? So we going to talk to the Bravo Babe on Wednesday and recap the season premiere of Real Housewives of Orange County before the next episode. So y'all make sure y'all set y'all alerts. That live is already set on Facebook and on YouTube. So y'all go ahead and set your alerts. We'll have her on Wednesday at 6 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. Savvy Rose said Real Housewives of London trailer is out tomorrow. I'll look out for that, Savvy Rose. I will look out for that. I've heard good things about Real Housewives of London, and even a lot of things with Real Housewives of Rhode Island. They're currently filming. Dolores visited over the weekend. She's going to be, I don't know if Dolores is going to be a friend of, but she has friends allegedly on Real Housewives of Rhode Island. We will see her on there. No, she's not moving to Rhode Island. No, she's not leaving Jersey. That is all not true, but we will get a peek of Dolo on Real Housewives of Rhode Island. So a lot coming this week. Again, set your alerts, like, share, and subscribe to my YouTube channel, Reality 2876. The link is in my bio. Follow my Amazon storefront. I'm always giving you guys my best in skin products, mom hacks, life hacks, podcast equipment, t-shirts. I even gave you Love Island watch party decor, which you can still get for the reunion. The reunion of Love Island will air on 8/25 with Andy Cohen and Ariana hosting. So thank you, Brown Skin Mommy. Love you so much. Thank you for checking in. But yeah, guys, see you tomorrow for a recap of Basketball Wives LA. Sneak peek is up now. Make sure you watch it tonight and come on back. Tomorrow we'll do this same time. Might be 6:30, but again, such alerts, I'll definitely let you know. But before I get out of here, as I always say, reality TV stars are humans too. Let's not forget that. It's your girl V with Reality Recap. Y'all enjoy the rest of y'all Monday. Stay safe, stay dry if you're in Jersey with this crazy rain. And I will see you tomorrow. Peace.